นี่camera is fine, right? Let's see camera. Phone is there, and in YouTube. Just use this one. External microphone, okay. And I have to give you the link, right, in YouTube as well. หรือว่าคุณเข้า channel ผมนะมันก็จะขึ้นเลยก็ได้ครับที่ YouTube แต่ไม่เป็นไรเดี๋ยวผมหาลิงก์ให้ครับ605 this one here okay copy okay that's the one in YouTube okay fine now we are talking about our class attendance, right? Everything is all right. We have this, okay. And I have to share the monitor right to you. Could we do this? And we now go to this one, which is so far this file. Okay. นี่นะไฟล์นี้นะ it's only here. Okay, the first person. The first person, right? ก่อนเงินบำรุงครับก่อนอยู่ไหมเอ่ยครับ
อยู่ครับเดี๋ยวเปิด
ก่อนอยู่ไหมครับ
อยู่ครับ
พูดออกเสียงใช่ไหมครับผมผิดตรงไหนครับ
ได้ยินครับโอเค
ครับก่อนไปแล้วนะครับ and then the second person ปานธรครับปานธร
ครับ
ปานธรโอเคเห็นแล้วนะครับชื่อขึ้นด้วยนะครับโอเค thank you very much the third person วชิรวิทย์ครับวชิรวิทย์
อยู่นี่ครับนี่ครับ
วชิรวิทย์เรียบร้อยครับคนไหนขาดลาอะไรไหมครับวันนี้ไม่มีนะก็คุณจะไม่อยู่ที่บ้านที่ไหนก็ได้นะครับคุณอยู่แค่เปิดให้ผมเห็นหน้าพอครับ The fourth student สุภวิทย์ครับสุภวิทย์
สวัสดีครับ
สุภวิทย์โอเคที่เป็นขึ้นชื่อแล้วครับสุภวิทย์เรียบร้อยครับthe fifth student the fifth one is นัทวินครับนัทวินครับ
ครับผม
Can you see that okay fine นัทวินขึ้นชื่อเรียบร้อยครับตรงเป๊ะเลยนะครับห้อง6.5เยี่ยมมากครับsix person กฤตภพครับกฤตภพ
ครับ
กฤตภพอยู่ไหมครับ
กล้องอยู่อีกตัวหนึ่งเห็นกล้องป่ะครับ
โอเคกฤตภพเรียบร้อยครับโอเค fine number 7ปาวิทย์ครับ
ครับ
Okay, I need to bring you to
this
one as well. ประวิตรเรียบร้อยครับโอเคชื่อเรียบร้อยครับ 7 and then 8ครับปีละทัศน์ครับปีละทัศน์ใช่ไหมครับปีละทัศน์อยู่ไหมเอ่ยครับ
อยู่ครับเห็นไหมครับ
ปีละทัศน์อยู่นะครับปีละทัศน์อันนี้นะครับโอเค fine number 9กดชวงวัดครับกดชวงวัดเห็นหน้าแต่ว่าชื่อไม่ขึ้นครับเห็นไหมชื่อ
ครับผมนี่แหละครับ
กดชวงวัดเดี๋ยวชื่อได้ดู
ก็นั่นแหละผมครับผมมี2 ตัว
โอเคมีหน้า OBS ด้วยนะครับโมเมนต์no second OBS this one okay and then the 10th person ปะวัดครับปะวัดพวัดหรือปวัดนะครับ
มาครับอยู่นี่ครับ
ออกเสียงว่าปวัดหรือพวัดครับ
ฮัลโหลครับ
ครับออกเสียงว่าปวัดหรือพวัดครับชื่อ
พวัดครับ
พวัดโอเคโอเคผมจะได้จำไว้ครับภาษาอังกฤษโอเค fine everybody is denoted by percent
พวัดครับ
พวัดนะครับโอเค thank you and then number 8ปีละทัศน์ครับปีละทัศน์
ครับผม
ปีละทัศน์ครับทีม
ครับพีละทัศน์ครับขอผ่าน
พีละทัศน์นะครับโอเคผมจะได้เรียกชื่อคุณได้ถูกต้องแต่ว่าทำไมกล้องคุณยังไม่ขึ้นครับพีละทัศน์why I can see okay fine everything is all right next one number 9กดชะวงวัดครับ
ครับก็เมื่อกี้ผมเนี่ยครับที่ผมเปิดกล้องเมื่อกี้
ไปแล้วใช่ป่ะ
โอนครับผม
พวัดก็ไปแล้ว sorry for that I'm stupid 11 which ครับ which
ครับ
which okay fine here which all right in 12ธนากรครับธนากรคนนี้นะครับคนนี้นะครับโอเค and then we go to the 13th person ปาฏิหาริย์ครับปาฏิหาริย์โอ้ปาฏิหาริย์อยู่ไหมครับปาฏิหาริย์13กล้องขึ้นไหมครับกล้องให้เห็นหน้าสักหน่อย
กล้องเปิดไม่ขึ้นนะครับมัน Your camera has been occupied by other apps
กล้องเปิดไม่ขึ้นครับโอเค fine no problem I can wait for you ที่YouTube ก็ส่งลิงก์ให้แล้วนะครับโชคดีวันนี้อินเทอร์เน็ตไม่ถูกกระทบกระเทือนนะครับท่อง604ก็ค่อนข้างนิ่งครับมายังครับปาฏิหาริย์ครับ
แป๊บนึงนะครับกำลังเข้า
ได้ครับรออยู่ได้ครับ
เดี๋ยวผมออกในคอมเดี๋ยวเข้าในแป๊บนึงนะครับ1 นาที
ได้ครับthen we move to 14 okay so not we will not waste our time ธนาธรครับธนาธร
ครับ
14
เห็นไหมครับเปิดกล้อง
ปาฏิหาริย์มาแล้วใช่ไหมครับคนนี้นะครับ
เห็นผมไหมครับ
เห็นแล้วครับ
ครับผมสวัสดีครับ
ปาฏิหาริย์สวัสดีครับ next one 14
ครับผมเห็นไหมครับ
ธนาธรครับ
เห็นไหมครับ
ธนาธรโอเค fine everything is all right ธนาธร and then we are talking about moment ผมแชร์หน้าจอใหม่ดีกว่ามันจะได้เห็นชัดๆนะครับอันนี้คุณมาไว้ที่ตรงนี้เลยคุณจะได้เห็นชัดๆนะครับสำหรับคนที่เช็คชื่อไปแล้วนะครับคุณจะไปออนอยู่ที่ YouTube อย่างเดียวเลยก็ได้ไม่มีปัญหานะครับ so that you can we can see everything from you here as well in the monitor screen we live at the 15 person right กิติพัฒน์ครับกิติวัฒน์ sorry โทษครับกิติวัฒน์คนนี้นะครับกิติวัฒน์คนนี้นะที่อยู่สะพานซานฟรานซิสโกเนี่ยนะครับใช่ไหม
ครับใช่ครับ
โอเคชื่อขึ้นแล้วโอเค fine then the 16 person ทิรุธครับทิรุธ
มาครับ
โอเคทิรุธอยู่ห้องสมุดเลยนะครับ16 but it's written here 505/5 17. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe you have said it. Someone has left. Okay, the actual 17 พฤตินันครับ the actual 17พฤตินันจอแล้ว
ครับอยู่นี่ครับ
พฤตินันกล้องขึ้นไหมครับให้เห็นหน้าได้ไหมครับอ๋อได้ครับ 17พฤตินันครับ
มาครับ
17 โอเค fine ครับดีที่ตัวสีเหลืองเนี่ยนะครับโอเค then we go to the next person which is 18 โอเคปานณทัศน์ครับปานณทัศน์
ครับมาครับ
ปานณทัศน์โอเค fine ชื่อตรงเป๊ะนะครับ let's go to the number 19 นนทกรครับนนทกร Oh, sorry I need to bring you on นนทกรเห็นเรียบร้อยครับเดี๋ยวผมลืมแชร์หน้าจอที่ถูกต้องบนYouTube ไปนะครับอะไรนี่ mouse โอ้อยู่ไหนครับนี่โอเค here I need to bring you to this one okay then are we alive at number 20 วลินทรครับวลินทรอยู่ไหมเอ่ยอยู่ตรงไหนครับวลินทร
เดี๋ยวเปิดแป๊บนึงครับเปิดกล้องครับ
โอเควลินทรเรียบร้อยครับ I can see you คุณจะเขียนอย่างนี้ก็ได้นะหมายเลขแล้ว number 20ตามชื่อห้องแล้วก็หมายเลขคุณก็ได้นะครับโอเคไหมหรือเขียนเลยก็ได้นะบางคนเขียนอะไรไม่รู้นะมันก็ดูไม่รู้เรื่องครับโอเค number the last one no not the last one 21st วลินoh no ลาวิพลครับลาวิพล sorry โอเค fine โอเคครับ I can see you เห็นแล้วครับthe number 22 วาลินครับวาลิน
ฮัลโหลครับเปิดกล้องแล้วครับ
วาลินเรียบร้อยครับเห็นชัดเจนครับ thank you very much last person ภาสิทธิ์ครับ
ดีครับสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับเรียบร้อยครับอยู่อนุสาวรีย์ประชาธิปไตยโอเค fine then we finish the class attendance right and please check whether I leave the status correctly okay and then we move to the lecture note right this one I think we arrived somehow I don't know what's going on in M605 cannot remember properly 605 ถึงตรงหาทิศทางแล้วหรือยังครับ Did I talk it already about the difference between magnetic field strength and sorry I need to bring the people in YouTube to นะครับใครเช็คชื่อแล้วก็ไปที่ YouTube อย่างเดียวเลยก็ได้นะครับโอเคไหมครับไม่ซีเรียสเลยนะครับ and here have I already talked about the difference between two quantities for magnetic field สนาม H สนาม B พูดไปยังครับพูดไปหรือยังเลยพิมพ์บอกก็ได้นะครับโอเคไหมครับ H กับ B ไปแล้วหรือยังครับ โอ้ลืมส่งลิงก์ให้คุณครูจอยไม่รู้ว่าครูจอยเขาจะเข้าหรือเปล่าโอ้ขอลิงก์ซูมด้วยครับโอ้ I just see sorry for that นี่นะครับnoมาแล้วนะครับโอ้ my god copy this one เดี๋ยวขอพิมพ์ขอให้อาจารย์ครูด้วยนะครับไม่ก็ครูจอยนะเพิ่งเห็นนะโอเคthen we talk about our story right the difference between magnetic field okay magnetic field can be interpreted as magnetic field strength okay which is denoted by H and its unit is ampere per meter or magnetic flux density okay which is the main quantity for us in my god I just see the request by a teacher Joy the second quantity is the vector B okay magnetic flux density and it's also recognized there as magnetic field okay we can say magnetic field as magnetic flux density as well and in bachelor degree we would use or refer the magnetic field to as the magnetic field strength okay which is H but in our level in high school level the magnetic flux density is actually denoted by the B variable and the unit for B is Tesla okay simply Tesla or in SI system kilogram per second square in ampere okay and one important quantity for the magnetic field is the magnetic flux density on Earth which is 5 times 10 raised to the power of 5 Tesla okay it's not exactly 5 okay it depends on location where you live on Earth so you can say that it's on the micro Tesla okay it's if you multiply it by 10 raised to the power of -1 and you need to compensate it by 10 here okay you have 50 micro Tesla okay you can say also like that okay now move to the next page which is the how could we get the direction of the induced force okay we are going to talk about the force that I forgot to send you the file right on to M605 because because in this semester this year I have more time okay so the solution to each example okay has been done so before that in the last year you can we won't have solution at all for each example but this year okay the lecture note is quite complete and I will update it later when I have time I have more time so in this figure we are talking about how to find the direction of the induced force on a positive charge okay let's talk about the configuration in this figure so we have a chart for example this is the positive charge and it's moved ทำไมมันเป็นอย่างเงี้ยโอเคมัน convert เสร็จอะไรสักอย่าง Okay. We have a chart. Let's say it's a positive chart for simplicity. We will talk about the negative chart later. If the chart move upward like this, okay, move vertically like this, okay, at the beginning, okay, at the initial state, but actually it cannot go straightforwardly or linearly upward. Okay. If we have a magnetic field which is denoted by the green arrows here, okay, from left to right, okay, this is the magnetic field, or actually it is magnetic flux density. Okay, we will not talk about magnetic field strength, okay, which is denoted by the variable h at all in this level, in the high school level. You can see it later in, I don't know, in bachelor degree or something like that. There will be the induced force, okay, on that particle, on that chart, okay, and it's denoted by the variable f. The direction of the force, okay, can be found from the right hand rule. Okay, we will talk about the right hand rule. As we have seen earlier, it can be found from the cross product, right? Cross product of vector v and vector b, and I have already introduced the cross product of two vectors to you already, right? We have summation operator for two vectors. We have subtraction operator for vectors. We have multiplication operators for two vectors, but we don't have division. Okay, division for two vectors. But in the multiplication, there are two methods, right? For multiplication, the first one is dot product. The second one is the cross product, which is our tool here in this. Oh my God, what happened? ขออภัยแป๊บนึงครับมีเสียงนะเชิญครับได้Okay. The cross product is our main interest here in this problem. Okay, when we want to find the direction of the induced force in this scenario, right? And that could be found from the right-hand rule. And as I told you, let me bring you to the camera so that you can see how we use the right-hand rule in order to find the direction of two vectors, right? So I need to use the wireless microphone. Right. Change. What this one? What this one? The external. Okay. Okay, you can see me right on the camera. So if this is vector v, okay, this is vector v, and here is the vector b. Okay, this is the velocity. Okay, the chart in this case it moves like this, right? It goes to the right. Okay, to the right, and I don't know, the particle, the chart moves upward like this, and right, okay, the magnetic field is in this direction. Okay, this is the chart. Okay, the chart moves in this way. Okay, upward like this according to the vector v in that figure, and the magnetic field just is just directed into the whiteboard like this, and this is v and this is b, right? And when you want to find, okay, there will be the force acting on the chart. Okay, this is the chart. The force direction can be found from the right hand rule. Okay, this is your right hand, and you curl or you turn your four fingers to another from V to B, right? And this will be the direction of the thumb direction, and this will represent the direction of the induced force. Okay, so this way. Okay, so the blue pen is going to represent the direction of the induced force. Okay, this is the direction of the particle movement, and the black pen is the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, from V to B. Okay, by using the right hand, you get the thumb direction. Okay, the direction of the induced force. Okay, that's the direction for the positive chart, any positive chart. And let's talk about the negative chart. Okay, the induced force that exerts on the negative chart will have the opposite direction to the one you get from the positive chart. Okay, before you have the direction of the induced force in this way, right, to the left hand according to the camera. For the negative chart, you will get the force in the opposite direction. Okay, to the right like this. Okay, and that's it. So now we get back to the lecture notes. มาที่หน้าจอนะครับ Okay, get back to the lecture notes. This one, right? Oh, no. No, not this one. This one, no. The lecture notes. This one. Okay, for the YouTube people, now we get to the lecture notes here. What is going on? Okay. So this figure is already explained and it's quite clear. Let's move to the next scenario when we have any value of the angle between two vectors, the vector v and the vector b. Okay, let's switch the microphone to the actual one. Okay. Okay, now we have any value of the angle between two vectors, the vector v and vector b again. Let's say theta is the angle between the first component, right, v, and the second vector is vector b, right? Theta can be in between 0 and 80 degrees. You can also use the angle which is greater than 180, but it will give you the opposite direction for the F. Okay, the direction of the magnetic force will be in the opposite way. So actually with this one, with the configuration of that's in figure 7, it can be completely described by equation number 1. Okay, I have already told you this is the cross product, right? And is the vector v, okay, velocity vector of the particle. Here is the magnetic field vector, okay, the direction with the direction of the magnetic field, and q is the charge, right? The charge, and it can be either positive or negative for different kinds of charge. Okay, actually 2 types of charge, whether it's positive charge or negative charge, and the left one is the outcome, okay, the output, which is the induced force, okay, and this force is called Lorentz force. In anything else? Okay, the unit of the charge is in coulomb. The velocity of the particle or the charge is meter per second, and B is the magnetic flux density vector. It's in Tesla. Okay, you can use also the complicated unit in SI system, but it's not widely spread. It's not widely used. Okay, we simply say Tesla. And here is the way to get the direction of the induced force is by the right-hand rule, right? If we want to find the direction, we just use the right-hand rule for the positive charge only. And the second thing in physics is the amount of that quantity in physics, which is the magnitude, right? So let's assume that F, okay, without the arrow above the letter F, is the amount of the force, okay, the magnitude of the force is given by the absolute value, right? The absolute value of vector F from the previous equation, okay, and then we get we leave the result inside the absolute value, okay, and according to the rule of the absolute value, we can separate the absolute value to 2 terms, right? This is the product between a scalar q and the vector results from the cross product of v and b. And, okay, we leave the absolute value for q, okay, which is a scalar quantity. It's quite simple, and here is the absolute value of the vector, okay, you just use v cross b, and after that q, okay, the absolute value of q, okay. Please note that q can be either positive or negative, and now the absolute value for the cross product term of 2 vectors will remain the absolute value of the first vector, okay, like this, and the absolute value of the second vector, the magnetic field. And after that, because of the cross product, we get the psi, okay, the psi function of the angle between these 2 vectors, vector v and vector b, okay, according to this figure here, okay. Theta is the angle between vector v and vector b. So we get that. I will not say the detail, okay. I will not give you the proof how we get the expression of psi theta, because that's the detail in mathematics. We are in the subject of physics, so actually it lies in the level of bachelor degree. So let's assume that the letter v, okay, without the arrow, is the magnitude of the velocity of the charge, and let the variable b be the magnetic field magnitude of the vector b. So we have the product of 3 terms like this, okay, the absolute value of q, v, b, and psi theta. So that's it for this expression. And the way to determine the direction of the induced force, okay, you start from V to B, and your thumb direction will be you curl them, okay, to direction B, and the thumb direction will be direction of the induced force. Okay, that's the first method in order to find direction. There is another method as well. If you use your four fingers along the magnetic field like this, okay, this is the four fingers, index finger or something like that, okay, four fingers to align in the same way as the vector B, okay, and you use the middle finger, okay, the third fingers in your right hand, okay, to represent the direction of sorry, you use your thumb direction to represent the direction of V, okay, and you will get the induced force direction in the in the middle finger, okay, the third finger here. So that's another way, okay, but I don't know whether it's convenient for or not, but anyway, you can use both ways in order to find the direction of the induced force. And that's it. We have enough tools, right? The techniques to find the direction of the induced force, and the formula to get the amount of that induced force, okay, the absolute value of the induced force. So let's go to not yet. Let's go to the next page, which is what is the maximum possible value of the induced force. Okay, that's the story in equation 13. Okay, you know the max operator. Max operator would lie in bachelor degree level or something. Okay, because we know that the value of F depends on theta. Okay, the charge is constant, the velocity is constant, the magnetic field strength is also constant. What can vary is the angle theta, okay, which is the angle between those two vectors here. So what value of theta then will give us the maximum value of the induced force? We are going to talk about that in equation number 3 here. Okay, we will put the max operator. Okay, we'll change any value of theta so that we'll get the maximum value. Okay, and we can see that Q doesn't depend on theta. V doesn't depend on theta. B also doesn't depend on theta. We move max directly to the last term, okay, because the last term is sine theta, and that's why we get the second line or the second equality here. And we will consider what value of theta will bring us to the maximum value of the psi function. So psi function will be maximal when will be maximally equal to number 1, right? The maximum possible value of psi function is number 1, right? The lowest value is the least value is -1, right? The maximum value is number 1. So psi of any degree, what is the value of psi of the angle that psi will be equal to number 1? So we would find that angle should be 90, right? The first possible. Okay, we will not talk about the angle which is greater than 2 pi or 360 degrees. Okay, the first value for the angle to give us the psi of 1 is 90 degrees. So we know that theta should be 90 degrees, and because psi is equal to 1, so we don't need to write number 1 at all. So we get finally the maximum value of the force is absolute Q or V and B. Okay, now let's move to the next page, which is the first example. the beam of protons move through uniform magnetic field with magnitude 2 Tesla and directed along the positive z-axis. And protons are assumed to have velocity of 3 times 10 less to the power 5 meter per second in the xy plane, and the angle between the proton movement to the vector of magnetic field. Sorry. The angle between the proton movement to the magnetic field is magnetic field direction is 30 degrees. And sorry. And it goes along. It is 30 degrees with respect to the positive z-axis. It's quite difficult for you, right, to understand. We will see, take a look at the figure at the end. Given the charge of the proton be 1.6 times 10 less to the negative 19 coulomb. Okay, that's the charge of the normal proton. So the configuration, configuration of that example is on this page. Okay, you have first the magnetic field, which is denoted by vector B here, okay, along the positive z-axis, and the charge, the proton is moving, okay, moving on the zx plane, okay, on the yellow plane here, and this direction, the green vector, is made with, it makes 30 degrees with respect to the magnetic field direction. So what the question in this example is, what is the force acted on this proton then? So what do you think? All right, we have V and B, right? Yeah. So what is direction? Of course, physics, anything in physics will have, we usually have two things, right? The first one is direction. The second one is the magnitude, right? So in this problem, we need to say both the direction and the magnitude. So what do you think then? What should the direction of the induced force be? What direction should the induced magnetic force be? คุณคิดว่าทิศของแรงครับที่เกิดขึ้นควรจะมีทิศใดครับตอบได้ครับเปิดไมค์ทางซูมก็ได้นะครับหรือว่าคนที่อยู่บน YouTube นะครับพิมพ์มาก็ได้ครับอธิบายมาใช้ตัวหนังสือเราก็ได้ใช่ไหมครับโอเค I'm waiting for your answer ได้ยินครับ you just, the technique is to, in order to find the right hand rule, we have to use the right hand, right? The technique to find the induced force direction is to use the use of right hand rule, right? ใช่ไหมครับว่าไงครับแรงที่เหนี่ยวนำเกิดขึ้นควรจะมีทิศทางใดครับ What do you think then? Oh, there is an internet problem, right? In YouTube. Oh my God.ครับรอคุณตอบนะครับว่าควรจะเป็นเท่าไหร่ดีนะ ช่วยตอบให้หน่อยนะครับว่าควรจะเป็นอย่างไรดีเราชิปของพี่ทองแรงครับที่เรานำเนี่ยควรจะมีค่าเป็นเท่าไหร่ครับมีตอบได้ไหมครับสักคนหนึ่งได้ไหมครับเปลี่ยนเน็ตแล้วครับที่ YouTube ครับมันไม่ค่อยดีเหมือนว่ามีคนมาใช้ที่ห้องครับมันก็เลยดึงสัญญาณอินเทอร์เน็ตไปนะครับโอเคผมเสียบที่สำรองไว้แล้วนะครับส่วนตัวของผมนะครับโอเค any idea about that มีใครตอบได้ไหมครับ if not then I have to bring you to the camera right in order to explain what is going on in this problem right to the real tech audio and this one okay to the okay and no monitor sharing this one I'm gonna bring you to the camera okay in this figure you have okay you have magnetic field in this one right along the z-axis this is z-axis to you and to the right okay this is the positive x-axis this is positive z-axis right and let's say the proton is moving in this direction okay it's all right okay this is the magnetic field okay represented by the blue pane and here is the velocity direction okay the movement direction of the charge the proton so this is b this is v how could we find the direction of the induced force ต้องเป็นเท่าไหร่ครับยังคิดยังไงครับ it should follow the right hand rule right? It's governed by the right hand rule so we would say that this is v this is b right so we're going to say that if we use the right hand rule it will be v to b right v to b so when we use the right hand rule the induced magnetic force will be in this way right in this direction it's the force should be pointed or directed downward like this okay and that's what going on in this figure in figure number 10 okay according to this example now let's talk about the magnitude okay the how could we find the induced force the magnitude of the induced force ผมไม่กลับไปสไลด์นะครับอยู่ที่กล้องเลยนะครับเพื่อว่าจะได้ไม่เสียเวลานะครับกลับไปกลับมามีคนไหนเปิดไมค์พูดอะไรไหมครับมีไหมเอ่ย if not then I'm gonna bring you to this exampleก็ขอเรียนคุณว่าตัว iPad ยังไม่มานะครับผมก็ไม่รู้ว่าสั่งที่เว็บของสโตร์เขานะครับมันใช้เวลานานขนาดนี้นะครับก็รู้งี้สั่งที่อะไรนะที่พวกLazada อะไรอย่างนี้ดีกว่านะครับใช้เวลานานมากครับI'm sorry for that but anyway we have the magnetic field direction in this way right this is B and the direction of the proton okay Q plus is in this way, right? And we know that the charge of the proton, is 1.6 times 10 raised to the internet in YouTube is not so smooth. I think I'm not sure whether we can still use the internet in the office มันไม่ค่อยสมูทครับซึ่งผมก็เคยเช็คแล้วนะครับว่า I'm not sure it still works or not.ไม่ไปเลยครับไปไม่เลยไม่ไปไหมครับ287 633มาแล้วนะครับ70ไม่ไปเลยนะครับไม่เอาเดี๋ยวหลุดนะครับที่ YouTube นะครับ sorry for that anyway the private internet is better okay here we have the one from the problem here, right? We have to apply. We know that Q is plus 1.6 times 10 raised to 19 coulomb, right? That's the charge for the proton, and velocity is the speed, right? The speed of proton is 3 times 10 raised to 5 meter per second, and the strength of the magnetic field. The strength of the magnetic field is 2 Tesla. So B is 2 Tesla, right? Yeah. Then we have to apply the basic formula, which is the angle as well. The angle between these two vectors here is theta equals 30 degrees, and we use ได้ครับที่ซูมนะครับซูมไม่มีปัญหาครับเดี๋ยวผมเช็คนิดนึงครับ It's all right. Okay, in this problem we use the basic formula, right? F is equal to the absolute value of Q and V, right? And B, and then psi theta, right? Also psi theta. That's the basic formula for us for any angle of between any angle between B and V. So let's apply it. Let's substitute these 3 or 4 variables into this expression. Of course, it's positive. It's 1.6 times 10 raised to power 19, and velocity is 3 times 10 raised to 5 meter per second. And please note that you have to convert of these quantities into those with the SI unit, okay? And at the end, you can simply refer the unit for the induced force as the Newton, okay? If those quantities don't have the proper SI unit, you cannot say at the end the force is in Newton, okay? Please note that Now we will have to apply or substitute the value of the magnetic field, which is the 2 Tesla, right? And sine of the angle between those two vectors, which is 30 degrees, right? And you put it into them into the calculators. You are gonna get the x value, which is 4.8 times 10 raised to the power of 14. Okay, because we start from the SI units for all quantities, so we can get the units at the end simply in Newton. Okay, that's the answer for this problem, right? It's quite straightforward. It's nothing difficult, but that will give you the base, the first side to this expression. Now we get back to the slide again. Could we? 24 minutes left. Okay. And this one.โอเคเดี๋ยวผมขออนุญาตเข้าที่อีกเครื่องหนึ่งนะครับเพื่อว่าเช็คครับที่ซูมนะครับไม่รู้ว่าภาพออกยังไงนะครับโอเคโอเคโน้Flux meeting ID is 93460. Password. The internet is this one. 49. 449. Okay. I couldn't decide that. Okay, anyway, so okay, fine. Now we arrive at another example. The next example, okay, 4.8, right, is correct. In here we have the second example. A proton moves with the speed of 10 raised to power 5 in meter per second through Earth magnetic field. Okay, now we are dealing with the magnetic field in reality, okay, which is the magnetic field caused by the Earth. Okay, it's denoted by 55 mu t, what is that mu t? Mu t, what is that? Mu t หมายความว่าไงครับ mu t? What is the meaning of the letter mu and the Greek letter mu and t then? What is the meaning of that? หมายความว่าไงครับ mu? What do you think then? Mu t คืออะไร mu t? ช่วยบอกหน่อยครับ Is there any idea about mu t? มีคนไหนให้ความเห็นได้ไหมครับ mu t คืออะไรเอ่ย mu t ต้องเป็นหมายความว่าไงครับ mu t ตอบทางไหนก็ได้ทางแชทก็ได้ครับเปิดไมค์บอกหน่อยครับ mu t คืออะไรเคยพบมาก่อนไหมครับมีใครทราบไหมครับ mu t any idea about that mu t means micro Tesla, right? Micro Tesla. If you can still remember, mu t is micro Tesla, right? And when the proton moves eastward, the magnetic force acting on it is directed straight upward, right? So the sound is the same, right? I didn't change the microphone, right? Okay, it's still wireless one. Okay, if you let the proton move eastward, the magnetic field will be straight upward, and when the proton moves northward, no magnetic field acts on it. Given the charge of the proton be 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 19 again coulomb, and let the mass of the proton be 1.67 times 10 raised to negative 27 kilogram, like this. So the question is, what is the direction of the magnetic field in this scenario? So we get back to the whiteboard again because I need to explain you มาที่กล้องอีกครั้งนะครับไม่รู้ว่าเกิดปัญหาอะไรหรือเปล่าครับ I assume that there's nothing wrong with the internet connection. Okay, the first condition is stated that when the proton move eastward, okay, let's say we this is the plane, okay, the plane of Thailand. Let's say this is the plane of Thailand, and you have this is the northern part of Thailand, right? Direction to the north. Direction to the east part of Thailand, direction to the west part of Thailand, and direction to you straight to the camera is direction to the south, right? We are living on the Thailand area. So the first condition says that when the proton, let's say this is the proton, okay, this is the proton, moves eastward, so it moved to somewhere in this direction, okay, to I don't know, to Chonburi or something, just this direction, and the magnetic force is straight upwards, okay. This is the direction of the proton to the eastern part of Thailand, to the east, and the induced force is just up, okay, above the land of Thailand. So what is the magnetic field should be then in this scenario? What do you think? This is east. Okay, this is the motion direction of the positive charge proton to the east, to the right, and this is the induced force upward, like this. What should the magnetic field be in this scenario? So you will see that magnetic field should follow the right hand rule, right? V2b, right? V2b. This is the time direction which represents the direction of the induced magnetic field. This direction, right? Upward, right? And V2b, right? So B could be, okay, direction of the B could be anything greater than 0, right? If we let B really in this direction, the angle between V and B will be 0, right? And psi 0 will give you 0. So F will be 0, but it's not 0. They say the force is just straight upward. So in this case, the magnetic field could not point into the same direction as the moving direction of the proton. Okay, so the B direction should be greater than 0, and it could be anything 30 degree, 45, 60 degree, even 90 degree as well. Okay, and beyond that, the direction of the magnetic field could be greater than 90 degree, 95, 100, 120, 130, 40, even 190. Is it possible to have direction of magnetic field in the opposite way to the movement of the proton? Is it possible? เป็นไม่ได้ไหมครับที่สนามเหล็กจะมีทิศที่ตรงข้ามกับทิศของโปรตอนเลยที่วิ่งไปเป็นไม่ได้ไหม It's impossible, right? Because in this case, the angle between them will be 180, and sine of 180 will be 0, right? นะมีใครถ้าใครตอบได้ก็ช่วยตอบมาเลยนะครับพิมพ์มาก็ได้นะครับหรือว่าเปิดไมค์บอกมาก็ได้นะครับโอเคป่ะ It is impossible. So the angle between magnetic field should be greater than 0 and less than 180. Could it be greater than 180? เป็นไม่ได้ไหมครับมากกว่า180. If the magnetic field is greater than 180, it means you have to curl your finger from V to B, and the force is going to point downward like this. And it's not the case, right? Because they say the force is straight upward. It's directed upward like this. So it's in the opposite way as they said in the first condition. So it's impossible. So finally, the angle should be greater than 0 and less than 180. Okay, in between 0 and 180 degrees. So that's the first condition. Let's talk about the second. Let's consider the second condition. When it moves, when the proton moves northwards. Okay, this is eastern part to the east of Thailand, north part of Thailand to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, to Payao, to Lampang or something like that. Okay, in the northern part. So when the proton moves northward, they say there is no magnetic force happening at all in this case. So now we can get a conclusion. Before that, we say the proton, the magnetic field could be in between 0 degree and 180 degree. We don't know exactly, okay, but in the second condition, they say that when the proton move northward, there is no magnetic field. It means that the magnetic field actually points into this direction, okay, points northward. because in the second condition, the proton move northward and the magnetic field is directed also northward like this, the angle between them is 0. When the angle between them is 0, psi of 0 is also 0. So there is no magnetic force at all in this scenario. So, all right, with those two conditions, we can conclude that the magnetic field actually points northward like this. Okay, is directed northward like this. ชี้ไปทิศเหนือ okay ไหมครับ so let's talk about the second question in this problem. When the what is the we still have 9 minutes left. What is the strength of magnetic force when the proton move eastward? Okay, it's no problem. This is the northern part of Thailand, north direction, right? This is the with the motion to the eastern part of any country. Actually, this is the south, this is the west, right? And we know that the proton ทุกคนเห็นกล้องนะครับโอเคไหมเห็นกล้องดูนะครับwe know that the proton is somewhere here, right? Somewhere here, and they say the proton move eastward like this with the velocity 10 raised to the power 5 meters per second, and of course from our inference, okay, from the conclusion we have got before, the magnetic field is directed to the north like this. This is the B vector, right? This is the B vector that happens, right? So we are going to of course they say in the first condition the force, induced force happens in this direction, right? Upward, straight upward. So in this, on this plane, because this is a 3D configuration, but I cannot write down on the whiteboard, right? So the force will happen like this, right? Because V to B, right? And the force is going to be like this by using based on the right hand. Okay. We will find we are going to determine the induced force in this case. The second question is what is F in this scenario. So in order to find F, we have to use the formula, basic formula. F is absolute Q and V B psi theta, right? Like this. ทุกคนยังเห็นอยู่นะครับโอเคไหมครับQ absolute Q BB psi theta, and then we substitute everything, right? The absolute of Q, which is 1.6 times 10 raised to power negative 19. Please note that I always leave the absolute symbol, okay? Because when we are talking about the electron, it means we have negative here, and the outcome will be again positive. V is velocity is 10 raised to power 5, and B is the magnetic field. Magnetic field is 55 microtesla, so it's 55 times 10 raised to the power minus 6 or negative 6. And psi of what? Psi of theta. What is the angle between V and B? In this case, you can see that V is here, eastward, right? And B is in this direction. So the angle between them here, theta is, what is that? East and north. So theta is actually 90 degree, right? 90 degree. So we leave it into this expression 90 degree. Okay, and then you put them into the calculator, right? Put them into the calculator and you get the results like this. it's equal to 8.8 times 10 raised to negative 19, right? 19. Of course, the unit for is Newton. And that's it for the second question in this example. Okay, everything is all right. And now let's move to the third question. Calculate the gravitational force on the proton and compare it with the magnetic force. Okay. The third problem is gravitational force. Gravitational force. So it means, what does that mean? Then it's the weight of the proton, right? So the proton move to the east or to the right, right? And the magnetic field is directed to the north. There will be lifting force, okay? According to the magnetic field, it's try to lift the proton up, but the proton stay on Earth, right? This is the plane of any country. And on Earth, we have gravitational force, okay, the weight of this thing. And the weight of this object, if we take a look at two-dimensional view, okay, this is the proton, right? This is the weight, okay, and W of proton weight is, what is that? From your Material 5 and Material 4, the weight of any particle can be found by using which formula then? ใช้สูตรอะไรครับ สูตรอะไร หาน้ำหนักของบางอัน Okay, this is the lifting force. That force is induced by magnetic field, which is 8.8 times 10 raised to negative 19 Newton. But what about the gravitational force, the weight? What is the formula for calculating the force or the weight of anything? For example, you are here, right? There is mass of the body of human, and the weight can be the mass multiplied by the acceleration on Earth, right? The gravitational acceleration on Earth, that's G, right? So this one is mg, right? M times G. But mass of what? Mass of proton. Okay, we have to leave the mass of proton. And now we put it and calculate the mass of proton. They have provided, okay, the mass of proton is provided at the end of this example, 1.67 times 10 raised to the very tiny to 27, negative 27. Okay, 27 kilogram like this, and G is acceleration on Earth. We can say that it's คุณใช้อะไรครับเลขอะไรกันส่วนใหญ่ 9.8 หรือ 10 ห้อง605 ที่เรียนมา G ใช้เลขแล้ว G ใช้ค่า 9.8 หรือเลข 10 What should it be then? It's okay, let's say it's 9.8 meter per second square, and then you put it into the calculator. You get the weight of the proton, right? It's 1637. It's 1.637 times 10 raised to the power negative 26 Newton. Okay, and then we can compare it. The force induced by the magnetic field is 8.8, 10 raised to the negative 19. And the weight is 1.637 10 raised to negative 26. Which one is greater than each other? อันไหนมากกว่ากัน You can see it. Which one will be the greater amount? you can see that the magnetic force is actually stronger than the force caused by the weight, okay, of this particle, the proton, because this is the power of only negative 19, and this one is the power of negative 26, okay, and time is over. I'm sorry for that. So we need to stop right now, right? So I would not assign any homework to you, right? It's better to get the homework next time on Friday. So we will quit this lecture by now. See you on Friday. Is there any question? If you have any question, just let me know. If not, then bye bye. See you. Bye bye ครับ สวัสดีครับ พบกันวันศุกร์ครับ
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ and